G'day and welcome to episode 162 of Trent365. Today is Friday the 11th of May. Franchise due diligence. There's an interesting article in the Sydney Morning Herald today talking about the Endota Spa franchise and a couple of disgruntled, essentially, Endota franchisees who have basically gone bankrupt as a result of committing to a franchise that didn't work and then not being able to repay debts and essentially having to go bankrupt. And it's not just the Endota Spa franchise, there's a few others that have now been drawn into a Senate inquiry in Australia. And already Australia has pretty strong and pretty strict franchise regulations and rules. The franchise documents in some cases are 300-400 pages long. So I'd question whether you really need more rules and regulations. But I think when the time comes to look at a franchise, you do have to seriously ask yourself whether or not there is any real distinct USP involved with that franchise. What are they really offering you that you couldn't do yourself? Because if there's not a strong brand recognition or any sort of strong, unique USP to that franchise, then, paying quite a bit of money to try and get into a franchise and commit to that long term just might not be a smart move. Because franchisees tend to spend anywhere from, usually $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 minimum to get involved in any decent kind of franchise operation. And then from there, it's sometimes quite hard to come back. So, and certainly check your termination clauses. Termination clauses on franchise agreements are often the result of the franchisees ending up out on their own. So take a look at franchises in general. It's not a bad business model. Unfortunately, a lot of franchise operations, the franchisor usually makes good coin, but the franchisees sometimes end up working a hell of a lot harder than they would otherwise and not necessarily making any more money as a result of it. Not saying they're a bad thing, just saying do your homework. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. You can subscribe on iTunes, Google Play Store, Overcast, Pocket Cast, or just follow along on the social streams. And I'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.